The roundtable for some high-level baseball discussion, and joining me are a couple of guys that have an A1 security rating. I'm referring to Pat Caputo and Mike Stone. Both Pat and Stoney can be found on 97.1 The Ticket. So, guys, what'd you think about tonight's game and the performance you saw, Pat? I'll start with you.
Well, obviously, you got to score some runs. I mean, their hitting hasn't been good. If they pitch as well as they did the first couple games, other than, you know, what happened with Finnegan, that was against two of the better players in baseball. They're gonna be okay, and to go back 1-1 is pretty good. But man, they really could have used Chris Paddock tonight. I'm sorry. If they had another bullpen piece today, you know, that might have helped them.
Stoney, chime in.
Well, I don't know about that because Finnegan was been pretty good. Whether he would have, if they had Bednar there, would he have used him there, saved them? Whatever.
Well, he's pitched 4 out of 5 days.
I know. The bottom line is that they can't hit. That's the most important thing. Yeah, Finnegan didn't have a good game today. But you can, in Skubal's starts in the playoffs, I believe he's gotten like 12 run support in his 5 games, and he's given up 2.14 is his ERA.
Well, now I love playoff baseball because everything gets magnified, Pat. And you know what? We're really seeing how the flaws of the Tigers team are really coming back right now to haunt them here.
Yeah, some of them. You know, obviously they swing it like too many bad pitches. That was encouraging, though, hit by Torkelson, because he showed some athleticism in the box and the ability to get a, you know, situational hit. So that was good. But yeah, just swinging at too many bad pitches. Plus, Mariners staff, man, it's one guy after another throwing nasty stuff. And, you know, in Skubal, he made 2 pitches. The slider was really bad, the first one.
The other one was a sinker that didn't sink.
Right, and both are coming in at over 90, so they probably look like fastballs coming in.
Yeah, it sped up his bat, and he ripped the, you know what out of it.
Well, you know what, everybody will look at this and say, hey, you know what, wasted another Skubal start, okay, and all that. But if you start looking at what now, they still got Game 3, Game 4, Game 5, Skubal again. So, I mean, it's not, you know, gloom and doom. It's just, you know, okay, they went in, they split, and now they come home, right, Stoney?
Look, you'd say going in, you're going to split the game.
Right.
You'd hope you split them, which you did. You usually would assume that today would be the one you won because Skubal's pitching, but that didn't work out. Doesn't make a difference. You got, what, Flaherty going next, and then Mize, and then Skubal. You're home for 2 games. Hopefully you'll be able to, you can wrap it up at home. Now that happened last year. Same thing. They had chances to wrap it up at home. They went up 2 games to 1, lost Game 4, and then lost Game 5. Hopefully we don't see a repeat of that. But it's setting up like that, is it, to go back with Skubal on the road for a Game 5.
Well, how much of a confidence boost does Seattle have now? I mean, okay, they get a win here, but it's their first win in like 25 years in the postseason, so there's obviously some momentum going.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
It is, really.
And all the pressure in the world's on them. They're kind of like the Lions, you know, until they turned it around and won a playoff game or 2. They feel that in Seattle, despite having great players. But here's the thing. Seattle, I'm just being honest here, they have a better team than the Tigers.
Oh, yeah.
If you go down their roster, they've just got a lot more than the Tigers. Now, the Tigers have, you know, equated themselves well by splitting, and we'll see what happens. They come back to Detroit. People have been dying for a playoff game. They were hopeful to see one in the division series, but the Tigers didn't finish that. To do it, and hey, it's going to be crazy at Comerica Park.
It's also going to be all hands on deck for pitching staffs and everything like that. I mean, I don't know about the usage with A.J. Hinch right now and these guys coming out, but
They get a day off.
I love it. Yeah, yes, you got a day off.
No,
everybody's there. Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody's ready to go. Yeah. Stoney, what's your outlook moving forward?
If I'm going to make a prediction, I think they'll split at home and go back for Game 5, and then Skubal, we'll see what happens. I mean, look, Pat's right. You look at that lineup and how impressive it is, and most people who don't follow as closely as Pat and even me a little bit, you know, oh, Polanco, what, you know, he had 26 home runs this year. He's a very good player. It's not that, you know, he gave up a home run to some, you know, 4A player, so to speak. So it happens. Hopefully they'll be able to hit at home. Look, we know they haven't won a home game in a long time, right? The last 6 games at home they've lost. So they got to get that off. You know, get all the schneid off a home game.
You know what, Pat, you mentioned the lineup, and 1 through 4 is devastating for Seattle, but still, it's also maybe 8 and 9, because when it turns around again, those guys are ready to go again.
Well, yeah, J.P. Crawford's a, you know, 3-WAR player, 3-2 WAR player. He's got some pop. He can do some things. Obviously, Suarez, he hasn't really looked good in this series, but all of a sudden he'll hit 3 home runs.
Right.
On you. And then when you just look at Naylor, and that's going to be a motivated player. Those guys didn't do anything in this series. So far. And, they've been to Detroit. They know what Comerica Park is like.
They swept the Tigers. That's the first
Yeah.
sign of when the Tigers started going downhill.
That's right.
Was that 3-game series.
They just clocked them.
Yeah, before the All-Star break.
So it's Seattle's a good team, but they had all the pressures on it. Plus they had the layoff and all that. I'm not big on the intangibles.
Right.
I'm usually into something that's tangible. But the Tigers, they bonded together. They come back, and that can be a powerful thing. The rest of the world's mad at them kind of in a way because they didn't do enough at the trade deadline and all that. But it is worth getting excited about. I'm just telling you, Old Town, you got a chance.
Right,
here.
we're here.
Yeah, right. So, they got a chance to do it. They're playing against a better team, but a team that's feeling the pressure.
Yes, that is true. Let's leave it right there, all right, because Game 3 is set for Tuesday. Back to the roundtable, guys. Lions with a winning effort. We saw good things from the offense, but let's start on the defensive side of the ball, specifically the back 7 and the turnovers that Detroit was able to generate. Stoney, it seems to me this was all part of Kelvin Shepard's game plan.
Yeah, they looked like they knew exactly what they were doing. Terry and Arnold had another penalty, and then they got injured. So was their game perfect defensively and offensively, for that matter? No. But it's the NFL. I don't care how bad Cincinnati is, that they don't have Joe Burrow. You win football games, you rack up wins, and the next 2 games are going to be tough. At Kansas City, and the way Tampa Bay has been playing in here, the following Monday night is going to be a big test for this football team.
Pat, how do you look at the defense? Because when you see interceptions like that and takeaways like that, that stuff can become contagious from game to game.
Well, we forget who played. Alex Anzalone played. Kirby Joseph is a ball hawk.
Yes,
he
he
makes
is.
interceptions that aren't, you have guys who drop ones that he goes and makes athletic
That was a moon
interceptions.
ball.
And what about the toughness that Amika Robertson is showing, stepping in for DJ Reed?
Right. So Jack Campbell played a great game.
Yeah.
Hutch had 5 quarterback hits and a sack.
Should have had a safety.
Should have had a safety. Yeah. And, a lot of people, when they talked about the offseason, they were like, why did you sign Derek Barnes? Well, it turned out it looks like a really good decision by Lions general manager Brad Holmes to sign Derek Barnes.
And the other thing, defensively, he didn't play today, but he might play next week, if not the week after. Aleem McNeil added to that line is really going to help because Reeders played much better than he played last year.
Right.
And Tyreek Williams is only going to get better. So while they don't have that other pass rusher that a lot of people want, still time for the deadline.
Muhammad had 3 quarterback hits
Yeah,
today.
yeah,
So they've gotten a lot better. It wasn't like they needed to get Trey Hendrickson. I know he made a play against the Lions today, but it was one play.
Yeah, it was. And it was, you give him his due. He's a good player. I mean, you expect that kind of
But
thing.
you shouldn't trade you want to trade Brian Branch or whatever.
And all that stuff. No, that's crazy.
But you won't have to at the deadline, whether it's him or Cam Jordan of New Orleans. They're going, no, even though they won today. People like that will be available if that's what they think they need.
Get a corner, too.
Yes, absolutely.
Let's see what can be done. I mean, I love the fact that David Montgomery had a big hand in the win with his family at the game. Wasn't this one of those moments where he wanted to make the impact? I mean, he went down to Cincinnati saying, I got to do something.
Well, it was like one of those old school jump passes.
Yeah.
Like,
It really was,
jumped
yeah.
out there and threw it. The Lions, John Morton will pull out some of those trick plays, too, just to kind of, hey, man, I can do that, Ben.
I'm not hearing the same things that I was hearing when the season started about Johnny Morton either.
Right. Well, it was 1 week, and people overreact to everything. I didn't have Montgomery to write on my bingo card as far as a prop bet or anything.
In today's game, they only threw 4 incompletions.
Very impressive.
That's pretty good football. And they ran for over 100 yards.
Goff is playing at such a high level right now. It's incredible.
Having said that, though, no Taylor Decker today. How would you grade the performance of Giovanni Manu?
I thought he was fine on run blocking, his pass block. Look, it's his first game. It's probably the first start he's played in football in the United States of America.
But, I mean, we've seen rookie guys, Ratledge, the other guy on the other side, take a step forward after 1 week. So I'm thinking the same could be true for Manu.
Well, it's a little harder when you're not in that closed-in space to learn right away.
Especially left tackle.
And by the way, he played better than that guard for Cincinnati. What was he doing on Barnes'
I don't know. I mean, that was crazy.
He must have had something against the quarterback or whatever, man, because he just, hey, man, hey, go on. I was like, Give him like a little thing, ole.
What about those crazy Lions fans that we all know who are going to say this team is not getting it done? The style points weren't there. They didn't do it the way they were supposed to do it. You know, Stoney, you hear them. What do you say to them?
Double digits. It's like last week. Look, you can sit there and say the quality of their opponents that they've beaten is not great because, look, Baltimore's turned into a horrific team lately. Green Bay is their loss, a quality team, and they haven't beaten anybody who's really good. I don't care. They're going to get, every team gets better. They're going to get better, and they'll be fine.
And this team is 4-1 right now, and I agree with you, Stoney, they will be fine. Let's zoom in on Michigan. The Maize and Blue still victims of dropped passes, but are we seeing a star emerge in the presence of Donovan McCulley, Stoney? 112 yards looks pretty good.
He looked good yesterday. I won't necessarily say star. He played good. They need that wide receiver. They have two problems. A wide receiver group, very little explosion, and their offensive line still is not what Michigan's standards have been. And until those elements are fixed, then in my mind, they're not, championship caliber.
Pat, you buy that?
Well, first of all, Wisconsin was pretty good against the run. That's the only thing they do. So I don't know about that, but McCulley is definitely a help. I know Samaj Morgan's one of Stoney's favorite. By the way, Oxford, congratulations.
I know. Be West Bloomfield.
The blue turf, they took him down.
I know.
But Stoney's West Bloomfield. He's a PA.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, there you go. But it all
Touchdown, Lakers.
Yeah, you didn't say it. Well,
No, it was a road game. I didn't go.
yeah, but anyway, I live next to Oxford, by the way. Hey, anyway.
Yeah, let's move on.
Yeah, let's
Michigan,
go on.
shall
No,
we?
honestly, Hayes is a great player.
Yeah, Justice Haynes.
Okay,
Definitely good.
Haynes is a great player, and that was a big get for him. I don't think Sharon Moore should be talking smack about Alabama because you may have to see them down the road about getting him, and that could be an issue. Always take the high road on things like that. But I think they're pretty good. I think their schedule is set up pretty well now.
Oh, yeah.
So they're in pretty good shape.
Bryce Underwood is still evolving as a quarterback. What's missing from his game right now, Stoney?
Touch. He just throws the ball very hard, and people get all bent out of shape about it. I said, look, he's a kid. How long did it take Matthew Stafford to develop touch? It takes time for certain things.
But Stafford also had toughness, so he could take a few hits while he was learning
I think
it. But you're
Underwood's
right. It's almost like golf. Touch is the hardest thing to learn.
Underwood, I think he does show poise. He doesn't, for the most part, throw the ball in places where he shouldn't. I thought he should have, or I don't know if it was the plays.
Yeah,
I think he should have run a little more.
He can run.
Yes, he
Yeah.
can.
And he could maybe use that weapon a little bit more. But I'll tell you this about him. I think he was under enormous pressure, enormous expectations, and so far he's been okay. I think he's going to be a great player.
All right, we'll see what happens. Moving to Michigan State, sports producer James Paxton asked me if MSU wants to see Aiden Childs get killed, which was quite a comment on the Spartans' offensive line. That group needs help, guys, but is that help coming?
Look, I think when you watch Michigan State, I was telling Pat, it's like you'll watch them and like there's segments of the game where they look like a great team.
Yeah.
And then like 10 minutes later, they look like the worst team you've ever seen. If they could put everything together consistently for a whole game against, they could do something.
Yeah, but
they don't. Like Childs, at times he looks great, and then other times it's like, what is he doing?
How long do you keep going with the idea that there's still growing pains for over 70 new guys on the team? Is that now out of the way, or are we still dealing with that as far as Michigan State?
Well, first thing with Childs, the team takes on his personality, the up and down nature, and that's on offense. Their defense was bad. Their defense was really good yesterday.
Yeah, they had sacks,
rush.
actually.
I mean, they had Raiola, and Nebraska kind of handed them a lot of stuff, and they didn't take advantage of it. So Nebraska is a better team than Michigan State. They were at home, but that was an opportunity that they lost because Nebraska wasn't really very good yesterday.
Well, you know what? How can we start to measure the improvement on defense for Michigan State, Stoney? I mean, what do we look at? What do we point to?
Well, we'll find out coming up against UCLA, who somehow beat Penn State. That's a whole different ballgame. But the fact that they play this week, Michigan State had that string of games where I don't think they even had a sack. And yesterday they had some sacks. They did a nice job in their secondary despite injuries. They're tackling, though. Oh, you saw the touchdown on the highlights.
Yeah.
Their secondary is not that good, but their front's been playing a little bit better. They got a couple good players, Malik Spencer and a couple back there, but they lack a lot of depth back there. But You know, Childs has to be consistent. He was really good for a while, and then all of a sudden it goes away.
Obviously, more work that needs to be done. All right, guys, I got to switch gears. We haven't heard much from the Pistons during the offseason, but I'm telling you now that it will not continue. Detroit begins the preseason schedule on Monday night in Memphis with the season opener coming on October 22nd against Chicago. This team ready to explode under head coach J.B. Bickerstaff, in my opinion. And Cade Cunningham is happy to light that fuse.
At the end of the day, like, we all want a championship out of this, you know, and that was a great stepping stone for that. We have no chance of going to get a championship without a year like last year, but there's more steps to be taken, you know, after that. So I think our mind is just on to the next step. We're all hungry. We all got a chip on our shoulder, and so it's not really much else to say about it. I think it's you know, go time. We're just all ready to strap our shoes back on and get back to it.
So Detroit opens the exhibition season on Monday in Memphis. What are the real expectations for Detroit, especially with the return of Jaden Ivey, Pat?
Well, I didn't know I was talking to Shams of Woodriffe. your opinion.
You know what? I'm just a fan on this right here because I want to see them do good.
No, I think they got a good team. I mean, they're a lot better. The question is, can Duncan Robinson kind of fill that role that was done by Malik Beasley last year? And I think he can. He's a pretty good shooter. And also, you know, the year-to-year, you know, Jaden Ivey coming back's huge. People don't realize that's like getting a big player in free agency for them. And also, somebody like Sarah Thompson and looking at Ron Holland, those players, this is, you know, year-to-year improvement. They got a pretty good team.
There are people around this league who really think that Asar Thompson is going to be a star. Maybe not quite as good as his brother, but
that's only because of scoring, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, but he's still going to get better because he missed all of a training camp last year because of the blood clot that he had. He put on some weight. They're going to get better. Now, if they don't get better, then there's a problem. But they're still a really young team.
He is.
I mean, on Holland, it's just going to take maybe another year. Yes, what expectations are? Win a playoff series.
See, Thompson's brother's a beast, too.
Yeah,
I mean, that guy.
We have seen that, yeah.
And I think you're going to see a lot of that from his brother. He saw some of it last year.
You mentioned how Aiden Childs is the guy who the Spartans follow, but the attitude of Cade Cunningham, I mean, he seems to be a little more comfortable, a little more ready to go with the group that he's going to have. And maybe that'll start the guys off running easily.
And we talk about improvement from, you know, the younger guys, not that Cade's old, but if he continues, he's got to make that next step, maybe from third-team All-NBA to second-team All-NBA. And if he keeps improving certain aspects of his game, yeah, they can be a really good team.
I think another guy who's got to take another step forward is Jalen Durant. In the middle.
He's got to be able to shoot from more than 6 feet.
Exactly.
You know, he is what he is. You know, I don't think you.
But can he be used better?
You know, he is what he is. The bigs in the NBA now, they still have value, but they're in a specific role. If he's in that role, and they have Stewart, that was a real good combination for them. And when they played the Knicks and didn't have Stewart, it kind of fell apart a little bit. But he's just going to get bigger and stronger and whatever. I don't think you need to have him like out there, you know, I'm sure he practices
throwing
shooting.
Up threes, right?
Yeah, no. With the team that they have and the balance they have on the floor, spreading the floor, he's got a specific role. He did improve last year guarding the rim. His blocks were up over 1.3 a game. If he can get it up into that 2 area and be more intimidating at the rim, I think it would help him.
All right, in the time remaining, I got to move to the Red Wings. Exhibition season in the rearview mirror. Will fans see anything different this season when the season starts, Stoney?
Well, it looks like they're going to see, hopefully, some young players on the roster to start the season. I mean, it looks like Pellick is going to make the team.
Francie Nygaard, it looks like he's in there as well.
Yeah, exactly. And Finney. You know, they waived Hull today, and with Gustafson, I believe is who else they waived. So hopefully that's good. Get some young guys, some spark. Just be entertaining.
Well.
Be entertaining.
It all starts on Thursday night, and we'll see how entertaining they can be. Hey, all right, guys.
I think they're going to make the playoffs.
Oh, I love the bold talk from Pat Caputo.
Boy, that could come back and haunt me. Whoa.
Man.
Detroit opens the regular season on Thursday at home.